All right. And I never thought, after we talked about the Yankees, other teams yapping about the Dodgers, and I remember I forgot who wrote the article for us at Dodger Blue about this, covered on this.
I think Sebastian did.
Sebastian did. The catcher, Francisco Alvarez from the Mets, doubled down on his statements that he believes, of course, he's going to believe that the New York Mets have a better lineup than the Dodgers. I think our chat could have some choice words for that type of line, Blake. But what's your flat out analysis on Francisco Alvarez saying they have a better lineup than the Los Angeles Dodgers?
I think it's closer than most people would give the Mets credit for. I think the Dodgers have the slight edge, but I will say it's slight. And of course, like Francisco Alvarez is going to come out and say, well, we're the second best lineup in baseball. Like, no player's doing that. I'm sure White Sox players would say we think we're the best. Like, that's just how players are. They're not going to say we're bad or anything like that. So then I started looking into some of the projections for both lineups and stuff like that. So Pacoda has the Dodgers. This is their system. So like normally we use weighted runs created plus. That's Fangraph's version. They have DRC plus. So they have the Dodgers at 114 and the Mets at 111. So really close right there. They have the Dodgers at 31.4 wins above replacement player and the Mets at 27.9. Pretty close there as well. Then Fangraphs, they have the Mets with a slight edge in batting war at 33.3 compared to the Dodgers 33. Basically a toss-up right there. And then I took the averages of their first 11 hitters, like projection-wise on the teams. The Dodgers' average weighted runs created plus comes out to 121, and the Mets are at 118. The difference is the Dodgers are more top-heavy, and the Mets have a little more depth in their lineup, which kind of surprised me because their 11th hitter is Jeff McNeil, who's projected for 101, and the Dodgers is Chris Taylor, who's at 96. So it's still pretty close all around. The difference is Ohtani and Soto are both like 165. Soto's 166. Betts is 145. Freeman 143. Alonso 126. Lindor 125. So the Dodgers are more top heavy there. Their top hitter overall is basically the same. So they're really close lineups, and I don't really have a problem with Alvarez saying it. Like, he's not going to come out and say that they're not as good.
Yeah. I mean, I understand what you're saying. We know the numbers. Players are going to stick up for their team. I think the Dodgers, not being a homer, Dodgers lineup's more dynamic there. I understand, but the Mets have, some solid platoon options there. I know Jesse Winker is a good platoon option versus righties. Starling Marte comes in there. But we're just talking about the starting nine. As far as Jeff McNeil, major down year last year. Not somebody I really, believe in too much at all. I understand Vientos had a breakout campaign, looked really good. But it's just, Blake, it's this expectation of what Francisco Alvarez is going to say about his team. So I understand what he's doing, what he's talking about. But as what we know, Dodgers top heavy, their first five, their first six, you're not going to find a better one. So from that, it just kind of clears it out. And it doesn't really matter. You can't match much up to me.
You know what surprised me, though? Fangraphs, their Zips projections had James Outman at 103 and Tommy Edman at 98. I was surprised they were that high on Outman. I think Edman is probably right around there. That's where he's been for most of his career.
It's split base for sure. It's purely split base just because he's against righties, he's not very good, and versus lefties, he's much better. But yeah, that does surprise me that they have him that low there.
They had Dalton Rushing at 108 also.
That's crazy.
That's pretty surprising for a prospect. Like normally they're projected a bit below league average. That's a high praise from the projection systems for Dalton Rushing there.
Let him cook. Bring him up. Find the at-bats first, then bring him up. That's what I want to see. I want to see players. I want to see prospects who have some runway. I want to give them some time. Like Andy Pies, give him some time. If you got the at-bats, they're going to him. Yeah, for sure. All right.